Pantheon is a champion. No, that's not how you start a video like this. Pantheon is the greatest creation to ever come out of League of Legends. You want damage? He does all of it. You want damage negation? He can block anything. You want to feel immersed in the world of League of Legends while you rocket yourself hundreds of miles in the air only to come crashing back down like a comet with a death warrant for the enemy team? He has that. You want to feel like a man who can take on God himself barehanded, even though you're just sitting there with those Cheeto-stained fingertips and cheese dust on your shirt and pants? Don't try cleaning it up now. We all know it's there. Well, guess what? He has that too. Look, I would be lying if I said I wasn't extremely biased towards this character and everything that he stands for. And I know the title of this video says The Honest Truth About Pantheon, but let's be honest for a couple of seconds. No one knows who I am on YouTube, and the last time I made a video on this series was a year ago, so I don't even remember what the real purpose of the series is anymore. So I'm just going to do whatever I feel like, and you're going to leave a comment down below telling me that I'm wrong and how I should have done this video on Ari or whoever your biggest waifu is, and all I have to say is that I don't care because we're talking about the man, the myth, the legend, the Pantheon. So join me as I discuss the honest truth about Pantheon, the unbreakable spear. Pantheon's lore, as you'll find out as a theme with most of them, is actually pretty simple. Atreus, which is his real name, was a record man who was notorious for being able to take a beating and continue getting back up no matter what. One day, barbarians started raiding his village, and when the aspect of the sun said "new phone who dis," Atreus decided to ascend Mount Taragon with his best bud and possibly secret lover, Pylus, in order to get the power of the aspects to help curb stomp the barbarians. Pylus dies along the way, leaving Atreus alone, and when he reaches the top, the aspect of war, Pantheon, says, "Huh, you're too weak, bud," and takes Atreus' body for himself. Turns out, Pantheon doesn't really care about mortal stuff and wants to go fight Aatrox because he's too red. Pantheon gets slapped around like a muppet and impaled upon Aatrox's blade, causing the god to die, but Atreus reemerges with control of his body. Aatrox leaves him for dead, but he ends up being nursed back to health by Pylus' widow, a little bit of irony there, and once he's fine, he goes back to try and stop the barbarians again. Turns out the barbarians are being killed by Aatrox, and so, through the power of sheer manliness, Atreus musters up the strength of the dead god, slaps Aatrox back to wherever the dark can come from with one less hand, and now Atreus swears to protect mortals from the incursion of aspects and darken alike, as they have no business in the mortal world. Did I say simple? Because honestly, I just meant legendary. The fact that this man amongst men is able to pull out the strength of a god because he's just that manly is honestly just a testament to how much power mortals really have in this world. Couple that with his overall design and abilities, making everything you do feel like it's something a man with the power of a god can do, and not just what a god can do, and you end up with a character that just feels so good to look at and talk about. And now let's get to the actual simple stuff. The kit. Pantheon's passive is Mortal Will. Pantheon gets a stack of Mortal Will each time he auto-attacks or uses an ability. At 5 stacks, Pantheon's next basic ability cast will be empowered, and we'll get to what each of those do when we cover the abilities. He also automatically gets 5 stacks of Mortal Will upon starting the game, respawning, recalling, or using his ultimate. Again, pretty simple. There's not a whole lot to say here since it affects his other abilities outside of saying that when you see this bar go red, it's showtime. Pantheon's Q is Comet Spear. Pantheon can either tap or hold this ability to do a "huh" or a "yeah." I hope these abstract sounds make you understand the difference between tapping and holding an ability, because my brain is too small to describe the difference. When tapping the ability, Pantheon thrusts his spear in front of him, doing damage aligned to all targets, and also refunds 60% of the cooldown. When holding the ability, Pantheon channels for up to 4 seconds before throwing the spear to do longer damage, with reduced damage past the first target hit. No matter which one you do, they also both do increased damage if the target is below 20% health. Having Mortal Will with this ability just gives it more damage. Simple, right? This is the ability you'll be using to poke in lane, deal most of your damage in all ins, and also to pick off those dirty people who think they can dare exist in your game of League of Legends. The damage on this ability is great, especially when it's used as your Mortal Will cast. It does a base of 430 plus 230% of your bonus attack damage at max rank, and you can do that every 3.2 seconds without any ability haste. Pantheon's W is Shield Vault. Pantheon selects a target, uses his massive thunder thighs to leap up into the air, and then crashes down with his shield right into their skull to do damage and stun them. And, that's it. It's a point-and-click stun that's also a dash. It also resets your basic attack timer. Really simple, like I said. Having Mortal Will with this ability makes it so that Pantheon's next attack will instead strike the target 3 times instead of once, giving you 3 quick stacks of both Conqueror and your passive, or instantly proccing press the attack. This ability also scales off 100% AP even though it does physical damage. Pantheon's E is Aegis Assault. My god, every one of his abilities sounds like an Ash of War from Elden Ring. Pantheon slams down his shield and starts rapidly attacking with his spear in front of him for a short duration. After the duration, or when recast, he blasts the area in front of him to deal even more damage. During the cast time, Pantheon is immune to all non-turret damage that comes from enemies in the direction he is facing. Keep in mind, that's not damage that's coming from the direction he's facing, no. He could be standing in Rumble ult, Karthus E, Morgana W, and inside of a Fiddlesticks ultimate, but so long as they're all in the direction that he chooses, he is completely immune to the damage. The damage negation alone makes this ability so good to just cuck your enemy laner out of any meaningful damage. It even works on Ignite and Karthus ult to completely negate low health kills or unavoidable damage, so long as you point it in the right direction. I can't stress that enough. This ability is great, and when you use this ability with Mortal Will, after Pantheon slams the area in front of him with his shield, he also gains 60% bonus movement speed for 1.5 seconds, meaning if you W onto someone with Mortal Will, get 3 quick attacks, Q, and then auto once more, you can E, deal damage, and run away before they're really able to retaliate. And now we come to the ultimate. The ability that truly makes you feel like a god amongst men and makes Atreus Pantheon. Pantheon's ultimate is Grand Starfall. Pantheon chooses a point within range, channels for a bit, then uses those thunder thighs to leap high enough into the air you can give Jesus a high five, then throw down a spear which does your Q's damage and slows people, and then crash down in a wave of fire dealing magic damage and bringing down the wrath of 1,000 Spanish moms that just found out you were underage drinking. This ability is amazing. Nothing beats the first time you see your screen zoom out and then watch as you crash land on top of people in a blaze of glory, ready to kick butt and take names, and then getting one person before you die because no one followed you up on your engage. I swear, for some reason, people either follow Pantheon ult to hell and back, or they decide to go completely away from it at all costs during a team fight. It's inexplicable when people will or won't follow you in on it. The fact that it also gives you your charged passive and makes you untargetable for the longest time also adds the power of this ability. In addition, its range is massive, as you'd expect when you're coming down like a meteor from outer space, and because you don't already do enough damage, you also get up to 30% armor penetration. That's right, 30% of the enemy's armor just doesn't exist for you, which means if Pantheon builds a Black Cleaver and a Cyrilda's Grudge and a few lethality items, which he usually does, and then also takes Eclipse, which has the mythic passive of giving more percentage armor pen, oh my god, you're basically doing true damage to enemy champions with an already insane amount of damage. Now, let's address the Cho'Gath in the room. Is Pantheon good? That's undecided. He's really good at what he does. The problem that he suffers from is that he really only does one thing, and that's damage. Unlike other early game focused champions like Renekton or Lee Sin, Pantheon really doesn't have anything to offer if he doesn't get ahead or at least go even. When he's behind, he stays behind and has almost no utility or tankiness to offer his team. He's also the only champion in the game right now where I don't think people actually know where he's supposed to be played. Do you play him top and be a bruiser? Do you play him mid and be an assassin? Do you play support and, well, also be an assassin, but also get your ADC fed because you've really good engage for early 2v2s. In fact, in each of these roles, he has roughly the same play rate because of this exact problem that he doesn't really excel at any of them, and that's okay. Not every champion needs to have 500 dashes, 1,000,000 damage, auto resets, mixed damage, teamfight, and split push potential. I swear to God, please nerf Aurelia. This is League of Legends. Your performance doesn't matter. What champ you're playing doesn't matter. Your own team doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your own personal enjoyment and feeling like a god amongst men while you hear some of the best goddamn voice lines in League of Legends. I swear to God.
We are what we overcome. I fight until the blood takes the spear from my grasp, until I can only crawl. And even then, you will not defeat me. Even then, I will spit in your face. The heavens do not fear me because I am a god. They fear me because I am a man. Cry war! Louder before you fight! You must rise! Strike now! Strike harder!
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please go leave a comment down below and tell me who you want to see as the next Honest Truth video. I really enjoy making this series, and I'm going to hopefully be doing more of them. And since you're already down there anyway, hey, why not just consider subscribing? It really helps me out, and you'll be updated anytime I make a new video. And that's it. Have a good one.